Good morning. Well, I always say that because it's actually afternoon. Hello, everyone. I'm Francoise Rhodes. This is Traveling with Francoise, coming to you live from the Coachella Valley. It is 81 degrees today. It is Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. So I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. It's also football playoffs yesterday, today. If you recorded it, you probably know who won yesterday, but I'm not even going to go there. So I want to thank everyone who tuned in to Live What's Happening Coachella Valley as we talked about the CW3 Women's Conference coming up here. And if you go over to the Coachella Valley Facebook page, we have some free tickets for you to go to that conference. So check it out. And that is the Coachella Valley Facebook page. So check that out. We also have that on Traveling with Francoise on my Facebook page. And you can sign up for those free tickets to the CW3 Women's Conference that is happening this week. Those tickets are originally $100 and some plus, but you can watch it for free. So again, check it out on the Coachella Valley page and Traveling with Francoise Facebook page. It's afternoon. I don't know why. I think when I start early with Craig that I just keep thinking that it's morning, but it is afternoon now. It is 12:07 and it is 81 degrees and it was a little warm after a while, but it was great to have Pat McCabe, the tournament director of the American Express Golf Tournament, which will be happening this week in the Coachella Valley. No spectators, but you will be able to watch it on television on the Golf Channel. So we do have some events going on, but they are, again, no spectators, no large crowds, just, a lot of what kind of happening across the country, but maybe not so much. So as it is Martin Luther King weekend, I want to give everyone a heads up because people always say this. Monday morning when you wake up, you're going to ask yourself a couple questions. Is the bank open? No. Is the mail coming? No. Do we put our trash out? For those of you Monday people, no. So again, I just wanted to give you a heads up. Those are all no's. Trash is delayed one day. Craig always laughs at me about this when I say it, but that's what everybody always asks. So, okay, and I'll try to pick up on your comments, but the sun is shining in just kind of a, strange way, so I probably won't see your comments very clearly, but I will try to pick up on them. So, in the world of travel, there are some things going on. In fact, there's a jet flying overhead right about now. Again, there's a lot of deals out there. Ooh, wow, lots of places are working on new locations to showcase when they can open up. I know Vegas is doing a ton of work down there. There's resorts across the country that are refurbishing, tearing down, starting over. There's so much going to be new when you start hitting the roads and traveling again. You want to keep an eye out open for that. But you're really so you're not working is really what's going on. So a lot of you are traveling, and being the director of the Borrego Springs Chamber of Commerce out in Borrego Springs, we are surrounded by the Anza Borrego State Park, 600,000 acres. Our small community out there has no signals. We have a few stop signs. We have one main street, and it really is quite unique. And we have, of course, our sky art metal sculptures where people come from around the world to see those. So when you're out in Borrego Springs, though, remember social distancing, wear your mask. Restaurants are open for takeout only. Hotels are for essential stay only, but you're certainly welcome to come on out and just hang around and check out the sculptures and look at the beauty that's around you. So we are out there. All right, but like I said earlier, you're not working, you're traveling instead, and I'll tell you why. U.S. travelers in 2020 were on average younger than travelers in 2019. Likely due to the fact that COVID-19 tends to more adversely affect the over 65 age group. But those of you, like I say, were much younger, in your 30s. They said the average traveler's age in 2020 was 38 years old, which normally the average traveler's age, when I'm talking about consistent travelers, was around 50 years old in 2019. So the younger generation is getting out there, and I see that. I see that in Borrego Springs. I see that when I'm driving out to Borrego Springs, and a lot of the younger generation, they're not so much looking for the comfort out there. You are willing to go out in the desert with a tent and sleeping bags and boondock. I'm seeing that. Of course, some of you are getting RVs, but it really is interesting how you are traveling and enjoying yourself, and you want to experience things a little bit differently than maybe the older generation who has their beautiful RVs. Thanks to Mike Thompson RV Superstore in Cathedral City. By the way, you and your beautiful RVs, I still see a lot of those out there everywhere. In fact, boondocking as well, which is really like dry camping. But the RVers have they have water. They have their own restroom. They have everything right there. Their stoves, their refrigerators. The folks in the tents, not so much. So I give you a ton of credit. All right, I am Francoise, and you are watching Traveling with Francoise in a really strange time in our lives when travel really is something that we shouldn't probably be doing as how we did it before, but we're doing it anyway. And you're doing it in a different style. You're doing it a little bit more privately. I know a lot of families that are going on family trips are telling me that they really are staying within their own little world, not so much engaging with other people. So it's very interesting out there. And as you can see, I am on a golf course, and every now and then I look over my shoulder to make sure that a golf ball doesn't come flying my way. So I do have to be a little bit careful. But anyway, I appreciate it when I see younger people out there traveling. I love it, frankly, because I want you to see the world. Why wait? I'm one of those that, why wait until you're a certain age? If you can do it now, you can do it whenever you can do it. Go for it, because that's what it's all about. I know too many people that have waited and then for some reason or not, they couldn't do it. So get out there and travel. All right, what's happening in the air? Well, American is making a U.S. reentry easier for all flyers, American Airlines. The carrier will make Verifly its mobile health passport service available to all customers entering the U.S. beginning January 23rd. All right, so that is American Airlines. The CDC will require a COVID test for entry into the U.S. beginning January 26th. The CDC will require people to show proof of a negative COVID-19 test or having recovered from the virus prior to boarding. So there are some changes out there. Be ready, and but you're going to be able to get your test a lot quicker. Look at it that way. The FAA gets tough on unruly passengers under a new policy in effect through March. There will be stricter penalties for threatening and violent behavior from flyers. You know, we're also on edge right now. So many people are just, to the breaking point in so many ways. And our level of stress is way up there. And actually our level of patience is way down there. So try to keep it under control, okay? Try to keep that stress level, and no threatening or violent behavior when you are flying, because they're going to crack down on you. All right, airlines bans guns on inaugural week flights to the D.C. area. Yes, Delta, American, and United originally allow firearms as checked baggage, but not right now going to D.C. And the big three airlines all on board with support animal ban. For those of you that take your animals everywhere, America, Delta, and United followed the lead of Alaska Airlines, which announced its ban in late December. So lots of changes going on out there. It's going to be hard to keep track of it all, but we'll do it. We'll manage. And you know what? If your carrier or your resort or your place of destination is not giving you a heads up, don't be afraid to ask any question that you have. You have to ask those questions to know what is going on. So please ask away. And hi to all of you that just joined Traveling with Francoise. I think we're a little early today. We were on the Coachella Valley with live What's Happening Coachella Valley. We had the American Express tournament director on. We also had the Robert and Bronwyn, who are representing the CB3 Women's Conference, and we have those free tickets for you if you go to the Traveling with Francoise Facebook page. Maybe you're there right now. If you are on the Coachella Valley Facebook page, check it out, and I'm sure Craig's putting it on Today's California to get your free tickets and check out that conference. It's appropriate for young adults as well, so learn a little bit about how to manage your financial wealth or just your business world on what you want to create. Okay, here on Traveling with Francoise, we're talking about the age of how travelers has dropped now. Average age was 38 years old last year versus 50 the year before. So the travelers, the demographic is going down in age-wise. All right, on the land, we talked about what was in the air. On the land, Sandals Beaches Resort is offering free COVID testing. So here's something I was thinking about when I was putting my notes together. Hey, Dan, how you doing? And I neglected to say happy anniversary to Dan and Carol Scanny last week. So this is a belated happy anniversary to you on the day that they met. All right. But if you want to get tested and you haven't been tested, in some cases, just go on vacation, because you're going to get tested at different places when you get there. Get tested before you go. So there's thought. I don't know, just something that popped into my head. Sandals Beaches Resort is offering free COVID testing. The program in place through March comes on the heels of the CDC decision to require a negative test result to enter the U.S. So, AMR Resorts will offer in-resort COVID testing for guests. Guests will be able to schedule an on-site departure test via their concierge. And Airbnb cancels reservations in DC during inaugural week. We know the craziness going on there. If you had reservations, I'm sure just about everything you have reserved in DC has been canceled. Probably won't be able to fly in there. You won't have a place to stay. I don't know. Check before you go, but there's so many bans going on there. They say Airbnb again canceled all their reservations in DC during the inaugural week. It said it would refund travelers and compensate hosts for the lost revenue. So there you go. Hey, Lane. Ugh, it's hot out here. Hi, Lane. How are you? It's 81 degrees. It's probably 82 degrees now. But the backdrop was so pretty, I decided to be outside again. And that is why we love the desert. Winter and even in the summer. Because I don't think I could do snow for, 4 months or so, or 5 months. I don't know. I'm just maybe not a snow bunny. Okay. So again, COVID testing. A lot of times now they're going to be giving it at the airport. You're going to get it when you get to your location. There's a lot of ways to get tested. Vaccination, different story. How they're going to handle what you carry with you that you got vaccinated, that you have your vaccination. That will be interesting to see if we have to carry a card saying we've been vaccinated. I don't know. It's all going to switch from COVID testing to vaccination. So be prepared for that. You know that at some point that is how it's all going to flip to the other side. Not right now yet because there's still not enough people vaccinated and still a lot of people getting their test. Hey, Christopher, how are you? I hope you're having a great 3-day weekend. I hope a lot of you are enjoying 3 days. For those of you that have been working nonstop, we have those that have been working nonstop and those that are waiting to go back to work. So again, we are celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is tomorrow, Monday the 18th. So, all right. And also the U.S. designates Cuba a state sponsor of terrorism. This is all new, complicating travel. The move could make it more difficult for the Biden administration to relax travel restrictions to the island nation. Now, they didn't give any really concrete reasons why this is happening, but it is. So if you had plans to go to Cuba, you might want to check into those as well. I mean, we're in such a world where things can change at a moment's notice. I hope for you as travelers out there that you take all that into consideration, and if it does change at a moment's notice, to just go with the flow, because it's going to happen. I mean, Christopher said he's doing good. Oh, well, great. I'm fine, thank you. Again, traveling is really a choice right now of if you're comfortable, how you're going to do it, where you're going to go. I don't know. I'm not going to tell people not to. I'm not going to tell people to. I'm just trying to give you some insight of what is out there until I can go, because I certainly want to be going somewhere. I know ACT Tours, they are scheduling a bus trip, hopefully, to Borrego Springs in April. My fingers are crossed that we're going to be able to have that. And you're going to be stopping at the chamber once you get to Borrego, and I have some goodies for you. And I'm just really hoping that we can pull this off. Of course, the bus is going to be limited seating, only 25 people on the trip versus the normal 50-plus people. And so everyone will be social distanced and will follow all the guidelines. So for more information on that, go to act-tours.com. That's act-tours.com. And check it out. You can call the office and talk to anyone there at the office. They're there answering the phone, and ask them about the trip. So again, that's going to be in April. So we have still some time to figure out what we're going to be doing on that trip. But I know you're going to go on the bus to see the sculptures. We'll go to the state park, and I have some other things planned. All right, so there are, like I say, different restrictions in the air, different restrictions on land and on the water. In the COVID fight, cruise lines focus on clearing the air. Cruise lines are upgrading air filtration systems in preparation for their return to sea. Now, this brings me back to a tip I gave last week that a lot of you really liked, and I hadn't thought of it. I read it somewhere, and it really made a lot of sense to me, and it's something we don't think about when you are flying, that the air filtration system in the restrooms actually changes the air out constantly. So after someone leaves the restroom when you're on a jet, give it about 30 seconds to a minute for all that air to circulate out of there. That includes droplets in the air. Anything flying around in that restroom on the jet will be cleared out. So again, it's just a tip that keep in mind, because I had not thought about that either. But we know every time we go in there, that it's like a windstorm and you can hear it. So keep that in mind. All right. So anyway, cruise lines are putting all new filtration systems in, and frankly, they are doing a lot of things. They are going to have areas where they can quarantine should anyone have COVID. They found that the way that they handled it before, only because they didn't know, they've never experienced anything like this, locking people up in their rooms with the air filtration system, that's all you're breathing, certainly wasn't the answer. And not letting people out with the fresh air, social distance. So the cruise lines learned so much with this pandemic on how to handle, should there be an outbreak on their ship of any kind, that they're going to be so much more prepared now, which is a good thing for all of us. It was a sad thing for the folks that were trapped on those cruise ships. That won't happen again either. But it's really interesting how, we took for granted that something like that would never happen, and it did happen. And really, I would say the entire travel industry probably in a whole was not really ready for what happened. But we're learning now, and things are only going to be better, and we will all be better prepared. So the cruise lines, they want you back. They're going to be doing everything they can to get you back, including all the guidelines as far as air quality, air sanitation, ship sanitation. You will see a big change when you board your next cruise ship, which I frankly can't wait to do, because there's some beautiful new cruise ships coming out. All right, and Carnival Corp, they say advanced bookings in 2022 outpacing 2019, and we thought 2019 was like the end-all gigantic year for travel. 2020 was on the path of breaking all records. Of course, we know what happened then, but despite a fourth quarter loss of nearly $2 billion for Carnival Corp, the company reports good demand and cash on hand to survive even a zero revenue 2021. So that tells you how good everything was in 2019. And I know ACT Tours, they refunded something like $1 million worth of refunds. A lot of you were refunded for everything. But the good news is that cruise lines, airlines have seen huge surges. People wanting to stay in resorts are booking now, even if it isn't for right now, but for later. So people are taking those dollars, pushing them forward. And like I say, now is the time for you to look for those deals. You don't have to go right now. You can book it for later. Book it, take advantage of them, and maybe go to that dream location that you wanted to do all of your life. I don't know. Think about it. Sit down and really think about where you'd like to go and take some action towards it and see if you can make it work for you. And again, call the resorts, call the airlines, call your tour operator, see what deals are out there, take advantage of them. And they are trying so hard to get those buses back on the road. Every now and then I'll see a bus somewhere and I get all excited, but because we can do it. We can do this, but they just have to figure out how to do it in the proper way so we all feel safe. Okay, I want to thank all our sponsors that are part of this show, and I want to thank Craig Campbell with Today's California and the Coachella Valley Facebook pages and his website, CoachellaValley.com. If you haven't been, go to check that out, CoachellaValley.com. It's so packed with information. Even though we don't have things going on, Craig is keeping it up to date of what isn't going on and what is going on. Traveling with Francoise, I don't have any contests right now as per se, because of what we normally give away. Those places and establishments are either closed or they're booked so far in advance they can't take any freebies. That's what I'm going to call them. But we do have freebies for you for the CW Women's Conference, so check that out on the Coachella Valley Facebook page and Traveling with Francoise, so you might want to go to that as well. So we do still need our sponsors to keep us going. Artifacts and Arts Across America, my nonprofit, we are just on a pause right now because no place is videoing, because I really don't want to go to a place where basically most of it's closed and everyone's wearing masks. So that's not going to be for a good television show. But we are on TV on Fox 11, Hulu, Fubu, I don't know, a bunch of places you can find Traveling with Francoise, the television show. So check it out, see what you think. Watch my past 21 episodes. And we are looking for a couple new places to put the show. online, so I'll let you know about that as well. All right, Bruce Titus, VW Palm Springs. I'm going to get my brakes changed up and down these hills and all over. I am very strict about maintenance on my vehicle because I am out there in the car alone. Ladies, keep this in mind. Take care of your vehicle. I know it's costly, but take care of that vehicle. It's important. Change those batteries, especially here in the desert. Only last 2 to 3 years because of the heat. And think about it, in the summer when we turn it on, everything lights up. The air conditioner is going full blast. I mean, everything comes on. So remember, have that battery checked, okay? All right, Diane Williams and Associates, Indian Ridge Country Club, Borrego Springs Resort and Spa, which is open to essential workers. So remember, when you call resorts and hotels and you do go in there, they will ask you to sign a form saying that you are an essential worker and why you are out there. So keep that in mind and don't get upset. And if they say no, keep in mind that they have to follow their county restrictions all across the United States, not just here in California. It's everywhere. All right, A1 Custom Golf Cars and Desert Battery, they are open and they will upgrade your golf cart to lithium batteries for the best price in town. Don't believe all the other ads. I mean, truly, they do the best job and they have the best price around. All right, ACT Tours, Dana Wharf Whale Watching. They are going out there. That's a great day trip. Go to Dana Wharf. Go out there on a whale watching trip. They have the ships. The boats are limited capacity. Beautiful way to spend a day for the fishermen out there. Dana Wharf, they also have sport fishing boats. Do something different. They're doing a great job and they're seeing whales. They're showing some beautiful pictures. Go to their Facebook page, Dana Wharf Whale Watching, and they have some, just saw, as a bee, mama and her calf. So cute. So anyway, whale watching, if you hadn't thought about it lately, go do it. It's a great thing to go do. All right, Cabot's Pueblo Museum, they are not open yet. Johannes in Palm Springs, they are takeout. So Johannes is open and doing phenomenal. Wanted to keep his employees working, so he's doing everything he can to keep the doors open. And of course, all his longtime loyal customers are doing the takeout thing. So go to Johannes in Palm Springs and get some of their famous schnitzel. Very, very good. Arcatire for doing all the traveling with Francoise. Baseball caps. I think maybe next week I'll give away a couple baseball caps. We'll figure it out, but I have a bunch and I'd love for you to have them. I actually gave a few away at the farmer's market in Borrego Springs just for fun because some of them know about the TV show. And we do get visitors from the area that will come into the chamber and say, wait a minute, didn't I see you on TV? So it's always fun because we do have the Borrego Springs show. So until then, I'm going to sign off now. That's the latest update in the world of travel. We'll be back next week starting at 11:11 for live What's Happening Coachella Valley, followed by live Traveling with Francoise. This will be posted on my website along with live What's Happening Coachella Valley and on our Facebook pages. So if you missed it, you can go back and watch it all. I'm wishing everybody a great week. Enjoy your day off tomorrow for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And remember, it's never too late to get a life. See you next time. Bye.